everyone, and welcome to my next travel vlog. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Rob and I've spent the last 16 years of my life crisscrossing the globe and working in the airline industry, visiting a different long-haul destination on a weekly basis. Now, as exciting as living life at 35,000 feet is, it can leave you feeling a little bit tired and a little bit washed out. And people are always asking me what I do to look after my skin on a long-haul flight. So in this vlog, we are going to be taking a deep dive into my wash bag to look at how I look after my skin before, during, and after a long flight. One thing that I really like to do that has really helped my skin is to drink this. It is collagen powder. Now, we naturally produce collagen anyway, but as we get older, our production rate decreases, and collagen is what stops us getting wrinkles, and it's what stops our skin from drying out as well. And we all know that being on an aircraft is an incredibly dry environment. I just put a scoop of this into my coffee every single morning. It tastes like absolutely nothing. I promise you, you do not know it's there, but I have noticed such a big difference in my skin. I cannot recommend this more. The most effective and cheapest treatment that you can possibly get is this stuff. Yes, I'm talking about the H2O. So before a flight, I'm going to drink a shed load of this to make sure that I get on nice and hydrated. And during the flight, again, the effects of a plane is extremely drying, so I need to drink as much of this as possible. So on an 8-hour flight, I am going to drink a minimum of 2 litres of water. So one thing that I will always do to prep my skin before a flight is to exfoliate. So I will do something very simple by just using an exfoliating scrub, or I might even use a face pack like this one. I particularly like this because it's got black sugar in it and it makes my skin feel really, really smooth. This one is cheap as hell. This is from Primark. It's 80 pence. But I have told so many people about it and they absolutely love the stuff, so maybe go and get one of these. The best thing about exfoliating is going to take all my dead skin cells off, so when I get on that plane I'm going to have a fresh and clean complexion. And if I want something that's going to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to use a chemical exfoliator. Now, this sounds extreme. I'm not talking about a chemical peel here. It's a chemical exfoliator and it's not as scary as it sounds. Now, the one I use is this. It's from The Ordinary. It's mandelic acid. It's going to dissolve into my skin. It's going to take off the top layer and it's going to leave me feeling really smooth and looking fresh and really radiant before my flight. You be careful, especially if you're using a chemical exfoliator, because if you're going into the sun, you really need to be careful about skin damage because your skin is going to be even more sensitive. Alright, so let me start by saying that these are the absolute bane of my life. However, when you travel around like me with just hand luggage, which is how I try to travel as much as possible, these have become very much a reality. But what I have got used to doing is to decant everything that I have into tiny little pots, so I just take as much as I need when I go away. So obviously these little pots you can get absolutely anywhere, but if you want really, really small ones, a top tip of mine is to get to your local Sephora or a makeup counter somewhere and ask for a tester, because those pots are always the smallest, but they actually hold a surprising amount in there. So I have my liquids bag, but I'm also going to take a second bag, which is going to be my dry bag. So in this, I'm going to have things like lip balms, I'm going to have a deodorant stick, a toothbrush, anything that I can take on board that I'm going to need on board, but I'm not necessarily going to have to take out at security. So during the flight, I constantly spritz away with whatever moisturising facial spray I can find. My actual favourite, which is the cheapest option as well, is rose water. So I get this from my local supermarket. It costs absolutely next to nothing. It smells beautiful, so it's really refreshing for my skin. But the natural oils from the rose petals that it's made with are highly moisturising. It also acts as a toner and a cleanser. So if you don't have any facial wipes, you can just spritz some onto a tissue or a cotton pad and you can just wipe off any makeup or dirt residue that you might have on your skin. It's so refreshing. I absolutely love this stuff. So halfway during the flight or any time where I actually might get a break, I like to cleanse my face with some face wipes. I won't get on an aircraft without some of these so that I can start afresh all over again. It's just going to make you feel and look a whole lot better. Now, a top tip for the guys, if you have facial hair or you develop stubble quite quickly, always get face wipes that are for men, because what I found in the past is if I have stubble and I've used universal face wipes or ones that are actually targeted for women, they just disintegrate on your stubble and you end up looking like Santa Claus because you've got a big white stubbly beard going on. So I've cleansed my skin and then I'm going to use a serum. The one that I like to use is this one. It's hyaluronic acid. So hyaluronic acid is extremely moisturizing. It's going to combat any dryness and get rid of wrinkles. It sounds a little bit extreme because it's called an acid, but believe me, it's completely natural and it's actually plant derived. Next up, I like to put vitamin C on my skin, and the reason I like to put this on my skin is it's going to brighten it up. Again, I like to use the Ordinary. This has 30% vitamin C on it. I'm just going to rub it all over my skin. I'm going to look nice and bright and fresh. I work all sorts of weird and wonderful hours, and a lot of the time when I should be sleeping, I am not. So one thing I don't scrimp and save on is a decent eye cream, because tired eyes are puffy eyes. At the moment, I am using Bobbi Brown's Ultra Repair Eye Cream. Now the reason I like this one is because it's really thick and really luxurious and I can plaster it on. It lasts a very, very long time and I think your eyes are worth it. It leaves the skin around my eyes nicely moisturised, and they have light reflectors in there as well, so that is going to reflect any light against my eyes and make them look less dark. For a really good quick fix is a caffeine roll-on. The caffeine is really, really good for reducing puffiness, and always get a roller ball with a metal ball in it because this is going to stay cold. And what I like to do with these is, if I can, put them in a fridge so they're really nice and cool when you put them on, and those dark circles and puffy bags will go straight away. Then I will slather on a nice thick layer of moisturiser. Now I don't use an expensive moisturiser because I'm so liberal with it, I will literally bankrupt myself if I do. But I also think as well, when you look at the ingredients in some of these expensive moisturisers, they're really not that different to what's in the cheap stuff. Then I'm going to put on a layer of primer. Now this isn't necessarily because I'm going to put on a full face of makeup, although you never know. But this is going to add an extra layer of protection against any pollutants from the cabin environment that there might be. It's also going to smooth out my complexion, and it's going to lock in any moisturiser from my serums or from the moisturiser that I've already put on. Now you might want to get primers that have SPF in them, or even a moisturiser that's got SPF, because when you're on a plane, the cosmic rays from radiation are a lot stronger than when you're on the ground, so you really must have some level of SPF on your skin to protect it from harmful rays. One thing I will not get on an aircraft without is a tin of Vaseline. So I get little dry patches quite often on an aircraft, so I can just dab it on any dry patches that I have. It's going to be great for my lips, it's going to be great for my cuticles. It's your best friend. Now, if I'm looking particularly tired, or my skin's looking a bit grey or sallow, or I literally look like I've been dug up, then I like to put on a tinted moisturiser. This one is specifically designed for men. It's not a foundation, but it is a moisturiser that's got an element of colour in there, and it's just going to perk up my skin and make me look and feel that much better. It's also going to even out my skin tone and my complexion, and it's going to cover up any breakouts that I might get, because the aircraft is so dry, your skin naturally produces more oil, and that's why breakouts can happen. This one is from War Paint, and it's very important if you are a guy that you get one for men's skin, because if you use a woman's one, it's not going to sit right on your skin. Men have bigger pores, our skin tends to be more oily, we've also got stubble, so if you use a woman's product, it's just going to sit in your stubble, it's just not going to look good. Again, for any breakouts, you're going to need a concealer stick. I like this one from the Body Shop because it's got tea tree in it, so not only is it going to cover up any spots, it's also going to dry them them out as well because it's got antibacterial properties in there. Again, if you're getting off a particularly long night flight and you've been up a very long time, you're going to need some of this. It's under eye concealer. Now, I don't care what all those guys out there say, everyone should be using some of this just to add an extra layer of moisture and also take away any dark circles. This, again, is your best friend for stepping off a flight looking fresh. So I finished my flight, I've got to my hotel room. Really, my skin actually doesn't feel that bad after a flight because I religiously follow my skincare routine. But one thing I will always do is, just in case I have lost any moisture, which is going to happen anyway regardless, just because you're on a plane, is I like to put on a nice thick mask. So the one that I use is the Kiehl's Overnight Facial Hydrating Mask. This is like the consistency of wallpaper paste. I leave it on overnight, I don't wash it off, and by the morning it's all gone, it's soaked into my skin, and I just feel so supple and soft and rejuvenated. I love this stuff. I also like to use an eye mask, so I have these eye patches. These are soaked in collagen, so I just take them out, I leave them resting on my eyes for as long as you want. It's gonna pep me up, perk up my eyes, and when I'm off out, I'm gonna look so much better. I'm also gonna use a throwaway facial mask, so these are absolutely soaked in collagen and Secura, which is really good for brightening, lots of vitamins in there as well, and they are just going to give me such a nice massive hit of moisture. Oh, this is the life. Do I look 21 yet? So there you have my flying skincare regime. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can also hit the link in the video to watch another one of my vlogs about how to stay comfortable on an airplane. So safe travels to all, and I'll see you soon.